Hey guys, it's V-Man from No Budget Productions, and with me today is Sean Reimer. He doesn't rhyme.
I do
How,
not.
how are we doing today, Sean?
Doing fantastic. How about you?
Well, not too bad, not too bad. I just saw Mona get through her RN license, so now I
Awesome.
feel, yeah, like,
Congratulations. That's amazing.
well,
So
I finally feel like I'm her arm candy now because she's making like all this money. She's the one making it rain, so I'm just sitting here going, "Yay!"
honestly,
It's
it's the same way with me and Lexa. She's earning like a ridiculous amount at her job. So it's yeah, and we're in a fantastic new setting, new apartment, and a lovely this way view of downtown Calgary. With
I was
all the
gonna say,
everything. So it's
dude, I've seen pictures like you posted a picture. I was like, oh, that looks awesome. And I was gonna say when I saw you pop up, I was gonna say, dude, is that like a Zoom call background? Because that looks fancy schmancy.
This is all real. Like this is where we're gonna be. This is gonna be our setting for the next little bit until we can find like our permanent place. And yeah, it's amazing in here. We got a piano right over there for her to play with, and yeah, we've got some great stuff. I got a countertop that I'm putting the Millennium Falcon on, so that'll be great for the reviews and all that. So yeah,
That's
we're
awesome.
really excited about being here.
That's awesome. So that's why you decided that's why you're like, fuck it, I'm growing the mullet out. I got mama there. I'm good. Dude, you're
Exactly. I had to like I'm not gonna have hair forever, so it's and I know my dad because he during the '90s he had a mullet and he's like, wow, things have come full circle. So it's yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's all. Like I'm waiting to slip that in there. Be like, man, Sanders went to the eugenics wars. He's now in the world of Mad Max, and we can slip that in. You know,
He totally belongs in that world. He's
that see
yeah,
now all we need is those like spiky, like Road Warriors type shit. Where you'd fit right in. That would be
exactly.
awesome.
I'm waiting for Sanders to be like, what a day, what a lovely day.
There we go, man. There we go. So besides living in the Ritz, man, how have you been? You been doing pretty good?
Doing pretty good. Working on some work stuff. Really, that's been my priority to make sure I can pay the bills right now. But I haven't forgotten about YouTube and all that. So I'm trying to work on really things have just been crazy with me moving and me with the job. But I hopefully once things settle down a little bit, I'll be able to get back on the content. And I have like a new workstation, so I'm really excited to start pumping out some stuff on that. So and yeah, just focusing on me and Lexa right now.
The important things.
Exactly. The
Yeah,
important things and our health and making
yeah,
sure she's healthy with everything she's going through and making sure because I mental health's been it's been taxing lately. So
yeah,
it's, I want to take care of myself too. So
yeah.
it's, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like far too many times, people, they get on YouTube and they act as if this is a full time job or this is paying the bills, and it's like, look, man, unless you're like Jake Paul or whatever those people, I hope that's the right name. I'm so out of touch with like what's popular. And and if you're that person, don't sue me for using your name. That's just an example. Like he fucking watches me. But like unless you're like one of those type of YouTubers, like this shit doesn't really pay the bills. It doesn't, it barely pays for itself. But it's like your mental health comes first. And anyone watching this that is paying attention, your physical health, your mental health, those things come first. Your family, those things come first. Fan films, YouTube videos, the creative content. Fuck all that shit. If you're not right in the if your mindset isn't right, All these things can be put on hold. They'll always be there. And no offense, if the subscribers aren't there, well, then they're not worth keeping. They can fuck off too. Like if your
Mhm.
mental health is more important. So I commend you. You've got a great lady. You got to look. I mean, you've got a great place. I mean, fuck, you got a piano. The best I've got is one of those like play school. Ding, 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 ding. You play chopsticks on it. You guys. It's awesome, man. It's good. And seeing you smile, man. Like I saw you were on, and I was like, man, I want to do a pizza roll diaries with this guy. I haven't done one of these, I think, in like 4 or 5 months. And I was like, man, I just want to fucking talk with my friend, and fucking put it up on YouTube.
Me too, man. Like that's the thing I really gotta commend about you and really the entire community that I've been with. They've been extremely supportive. Like my subscribers, like they're like the regulars for my channel, and they've been extremely supportive through this whole process. Because yeah, it's I trust me. I wish I got paid for this. I wish I could just make videos for a living. But
Yeah,
honestly, like I don't think I'm ever gonna hit that point. Like I put my heart and soul into everything, but it's hard. Like it's you got to get lucky with the algorithm, and even then, like because I've gotten lucky with the algorithm before, because one of my Spider-Man videos hit like 100,000 views or something like that, and I'm just like I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, well I was never really proud of that video, because like all of the comments were just, oh, you show me the link where you got the mask, and you're not the amazing Spider-Man, you're the anorexic Spider-Man. So it was always, the views never mattered. The views
yeah,
never mattered at all,
yeah,
and really it's just the few people that make it worthwhile. That's
yeah.
really what it's about at this point. So
Well, and that's the thing. It's one of those things, man, where you're absolutely right. Like the views don't matter. Like my channel's relatively small, as opposed to some of those out there that get easy, you know 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 views a video. But for me, it's I make content for people like you. I make content for people like the people that I hang out with, people that I'd go grab a burger with or go grab pizza with, where it's like, man, I can sit there and fuck with them, on a Friday night at 3, 4 in the morning, and fuck with and not have to worry about anything, be like, it's good. A lot of those people, you know it, they don't have the mindset that more doesn't equal better. you
mhm.
know
It's
um
quality over quantity. That's really what it comes down to. So it's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And most of those people couldn't pull off a mullet to save their life, let me tell you. So it's
Well, we'll revisit that, and like, because my dad was like, yeah, by 28, it was going. So I'm like, okay, I got 5 more years, and I'm gonna make the most of it with the hair. I'm gonna do as much as I can, and but yeah, it's because I've been on YouTube now for, let's see, I started in 2012, and I was this tiny little kid in grade 7 or 8 in
Mhm.
junior high, and it's my channel has really become like a time capsule. For like I go back and I watch my old stuff, and I'm like, god, I was energetic back then. I was like, I was so different, and I've come a long way in a lot of it. So it's really about seeing my growth and encouraging myself to keep going,
Yeah.
because who knows where I'll be in another 10 years. So
No, and that's especially today. I mean, thinking of it from how far I've come. Like when I was younger, like they had Polaroids,
mhm.
and then disposable cameras, and now it's like, man. I take 20 selfies just to get that right one, And Royce, like, he started to take pictures, and because, I mean, hell, I mean, he takes a million pictures with Daddy. We make stupid, silly faces together. And it's like my parents taking a picture was a big time thing. It's a time capsule. And it's like we only have a certain amount of time on this earth, to show that we were here. And that YouTube is certainly an important way to do that. That's why people who say, "Oh no, I was so angry, I deleted all my stuff." Why would you do that? Like, you spent time doing that. Like, it's one thing to put it private so that only you can see it, but again, you took the time to do that. Would you really feel right getting rid of it? For me, I couldn't do it. Like, to at least have a copy of it and show, hey, this is what I did with my time. Even if it's dated, it's still you. You know.
Exactly. Like that was cuz like I even made this the first short film that I made as a kid was like back during the whole Slenderman craze, like
Oh yeah.
back in the day, and I did like it was a thing called the Slenderman's Daughter, and my sister was in it, and really it was just me turning all the lights off in my basement and running around with a flashlight, like looking at notes, and then seeing her and like freaking out and being like, oh my god, and then cutting to like this static, because like I couldn't even figure out a way to like get like a static backdrop in iMovie, so I filmed like a static backdrop on my laptop, and I was like, so um, and it was cringy. Like people kept flocking to it because it was so bad. Like it hit like 2,000 views, and I like it's private now because like I can't like it's
No, we need that film. We need it. Like, we need it.
oh no, I like
But
it's bad enough because like I did a reaction video for my 500 subscriber special about watching my first ever video, and it was me dancing to like Gangnam Style or something like that, and it was just like it's but again, like that's where I was. That was my influences back then. My influences were Steve Jobs, Bob Dylan, and Smosh in that order. And so it's really interesting to see how much I've really changed, how many influences that I've gathered, and it's I look at myself now and I'm like, you know what, I'm proud of who I was then, and I'm proud of who I am now, and that's the important thing.
so I take it the video of you dancing to the Gangnam Style, is that how you drew Lexa in? I take it.
What do you think, sweetie? Is that
Absolutely.
she says absolutely.
Right. And the mullet's what kept her in, huh? So that's it's
Exactly, because that I had a mullet in when we did our first play together in high school. That was how we met during a grade 12 production of this play called Problem Child, where her character uh, we played a couple that was trying to get our baby back from social services, and Lex's character ended up burying the social worker alive
oh
by
wow.
by mistake. Um, and we had our first like on stage kiss together. So it's like people ask me, it's like, what was your guys' first kiss like? And I'm like, well, in reality, it was our high school drama teacher going on the intercom of this theater in front of everyone that was in there, and was like, Sean, Lexa, go make out in the bathroom. And that's what our first kiss was. It was just lots of rehearsing, but it, let me tell you, it feels like so like because we were very different people back then, and I think that's really the theme of this entire interview. It's like it's how different we can progress all throughout our lives. Like
Yeah.
Doctor Who. There's a quote from the 11th Doctor before he regenerates. We're all different people all throughout our lives, and that's good. You got to keep moving so long as you remember all the people you used to be.
Yeah.
So, I look back at me and her during Problem Child, and we were very different people, not at all compatible in a relationship, but we were such good friends. And then we reconnected after COVID, and it just like it felt like the most home I have ever been. So it's all about you know, when one door closes, work on making yourself the best version of you possible so that another door will open and that you'll be able to unlock it.
I gotta say, man, it's you know the fact that you've kind of taken a step back from things. You there definitely seems to be some type of I want to say wisdom, but that feels too Yoda like. I want to say maybe inner peace, and I don't know if that's. I don't think that's quite hitting the thing. There's something a little different about you, and I like it. There's a little bit of a glow, and and I'm not talking about just because you look like you're just hit the jackpot, the lottery, but I like it, man. You seem really happy. And I dig it, man. I really do. I think that's really cool. And the fact, like, again, wise, because I mean, you're dropping knowledge here that I think a lot of people, twice your age haven't figured out yet. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, everything you're saying is truth, and I think there's a lot of wisdom in what you're saying.
Well, it's obviously it's not like it's about the journey and not the destination. Like I know I'm never gonna be 100% happy, but it's about the small moments. It's about creating light out of any opportunity you can, and doing the best you can with the hand that you're dealt. Because let me tell you, like I being with her in our own place is like that's been my dream forever. 'Cause, like
Yeah,
I'm the happiest here creating a new life that I've ever been. And I think the YouTube audience is up for a real treat once I get settled and once everything is molded to um, really my ideal new life. I think the content is really going to come through. It's going to be I'm because I put a vlog on my channel yesterday, just like a random day off, me getting my new computer, and I I remember just being so entertained putting effort into it.
yeah.
And that's something I have not felt for a long time. And taking that step back, focusing on me, and then coming back to that content, I was like, Lexa was getting real annoyed. She was like, "Can you like stop editing that video for a second?" And I'm like, "I am having so much fun right now. Like I can do this. I can like zoom in on this part, and then I can add like the cool text here, and then I can add like the transition there, and then it's so good to be excited about making things again." And
Like I got to say, I've had to step back from time to time, and again, to get a clear perspective. And the thing about it is, like when you're younger and you haven't experienced all the things, and the world seems a lot bigger. Like you feel the need, like you have to do all these things, and you have to accomplish, and you have to prove yourself, and once you're kind of just you go through kind of some of the muck that the world has to offer, and you're like, man, fuck this,
mhm,
and and you kind of just get burnt out and frustrated, and you're kind of waist deep in all the crap that the world is, actually is, and you kind of pull yourself up, and you're like, man, I got to do me. And when you come through the other side, stronger for having done that, you then realize it's not that I have to do these things. What is it that I actually want to do? And then it changes your perspective, because it's like, I don't have to hit any milestones. I'm not competing with anyone. It's what is it that I want to do? What makes me really happy? Does this even make me happy? For some people, Absolutely, it is. For some people, it's a little bit less. It's more quality over quantity. To steal the quote earlier that was said, for some people, it's a complete walk away, and I'm gonna go drink coffee on my front porch. For some people, it's seeing others succeed. But that's the thing. It's like we find, having gone through some of the trials, what actually makes us us. We're not searching for what we are in our youth. And looking at you, I see I see age. you know, um, I think you've kind of gone through some of that. Because I know that you guys have gone through some of the crap, and I'm glad to
Yeah.
see that. I'm glad to see it's. I mean, obviously, not every problem is solved. That's just not life. But it's good to see that you guys are getting some of the benefits that you guys have earned. I feel the same way myself with my life. It's like, man, I remember working 2 to 3 jobs, sleeping in my car between it, each job, not showering, just grabbing a deodorant stick and, putting that on before my next job, sleeping in the car just to get a couple extra minutes of sleep, and still not paying my bills, because it's like, you know, people fucked me over and that's what I had to do to survive, and still not surviving, and now here I am and I'm like, man, I'm happy,
Mhm.
and I feel like that's kind of where you're at, yeah.
At least for now, and I definitely plan on savoring it as best I can because and it's things weren't. Obviously, there's still a lot I want to work on because it's like especially work related because I know uh at one point I was fired from a job earlier this year, and there was still like a lot of trauma from that when I went back to my old job that I had before that one, and they my employer promoted me and put a lot more responsibility on me, and for a long time it felt like two things. One, I felt like I had to redeem myself after getting fired, and I wanted to prove myself. And then it was also I didn't want to let people down again because I thought that's what happened. But eventually, like, I hit a point. Actually, yesterday was um I finally just broke broke completely down and admitted that that way of thinking wasn't working anymore,
Yeah.
and it was toxic, and it led me to, like, um that was the lowest I've been probably in a couple of years, especially since Lexa came around, and it really made me realize the support system around me because I have the most amazing woman in my life, the most amazing person in my life. And I have a great audience that supports me. And then I also have great coworkers. And they were like, we can go as slow with this as you want. You can vent to us as much as you want. Your mental health is what matters to us. And um, it's really made me appreciate how much of a amazing support system I have around me. So it's um and I know they're in my corner.
Good. Good deal, man. It's really awesome to see you in on this side, man. It's really good, man. I'm really glad. So
Me too.
so that being said, um, I do want to let you know that here coming up in a few months, I I will need your new address. I do have a gift coming from you or for you
Okay.
and Lexa. Um, Assuming you guys want it, um, since Mona's new job, money's a little bit better for me. Uh, and as a way of saying thank you guys for being part of the Constar. Uh, and hopefully maybe get a one more film out of you guys if I can. No rush. You know me. And if not, it's fine. It's still my way of saying thank you. Um, I'm gonna buy the brand new Star Trek Picard season 2 uniforms for you and for her as my way of saying thank you. Because I think they look pretty spiffy.
They
And
do. Those are some nice looking uniforms. Like, sure, Starfleet changes their uniforms too much, but those are some
all the
amazing
time,
looking uniforms.
yeah,
So, thank you. Like, that is, oh my, oh, that's because I've always loved those. Those were one of the the one saving grace of Picard season 2. Like,
yeah.
um,
I love the first 2 episodes. I thought they were great, and
me
I
too.
like I wasn't going to get them because like for my final episode,
Mhm.
Um, I was like, no, we'll just have Menard leave before the season 2 uniforms take hold, and then therefore I don't need to buy a new uniform. But Sam Cockings has that uniform, and I was like, you know what? All right, I'll put you in that one, and we'll just say Menard hasn't switched over, and then therefore at least the episode will have that uniform, and I don't need it. And then the more I was staring at Sam in his uniform, well, that sounds a little awkward. I wasn't staring at Sam in his uniform, but the
No,
more
I
I was
was
looking,
on Twitter too, so it's fine. Like,
it
I
looked
was like, God, I'm so jealous, and so
right, right. But the more I was looking at it, the more I was like, man, that just looks so damn good. And then, and then I think Frank bought his Admiral's uniform, or the Picard, yeah, the season 2 Admiral's uniform, the one Picard wears. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it.
mhm.
And I did, and I was like, man, this is really nice. So I wear it limited fashion because of course I'm only doing a certain amount of films and then done.
Mhm.
But I was like, I think Lexa and Sean might like those too. Um, just for them, why not? So
Thank you so much. I like that's an amazing honor, and I definitely plan to wear that around the house, making some Romulan ale. So
right on, man. Well, I'll just let you know. I saw you make that video of the Defiant, and if I ever come to your house, you might be, one Defiant less, I might be wearing a
well,
trench coat.
that's my favorite ship, and I know it's Sanders too, because like I feel like Sanders like studied the various Defiant battles during the Dominion War and was like, that is the most badass ship. I
Dude, isn't it? That is so like I tell you what if I could do one thing, and if I can ever do this, if I can get a CGI model,
Mhm.
I might try to get that you remember, since you're a fan of the Defiant,
Mhm.
this might work out. I might write it into a script somewhere for your character maybe.
Mhm.
You remember what the Defiant was supposed to look like before they actually made it into the Defiant, where it kind of had like the three pronged in the front, and kind of.
Yes.
I might try to get that because again, like everyone's seen the Defiant now. Defiant in CGI is no different, So it's like, but I might try to see, hey, can my CGI guy do this one, and then maybe give Sanders that ship, or something, like
Well, 'cause, in like my favorite ship in Star Trek Online now is a Defiant variant, but it's called the Adamant, and it's like a Terran Defiant, and like
really.
I'll send you a pic, but
Mm.
it's like it's an extraordinary, unique looking. Like, you can still tell it's a Defiant, but it's got like some streamlined elements to it, and like it looks badass. Like, it
Mm.
looks like a tough little ship even more. So it's like that's another option if you can't get a CGI one of the concept Defiant. The Adamant is also a really good option.
Yeah, send me that, like, because that I have to say, man, the first time the Defiant, like, it's flying toward this three Jem'Hadar ship, and it fires the quantum torpedoes or the pulse cannons, whichever one, what, like, that changed my life. I was like, oh man, I never knew I could get a boner over CGI. Like, oh wow, this is wow. Like
I know, like
that.
it's and people dispute whether it's like the first Star Trek ship that's specifically meant for battle, but I'm like, you know what? It's the one that really owned the battlefield for the first time. Like, sure, there
Well,
were other ships that could, you
well,
know,
here's the thing. It may not have been the first one meant for battle, but it's the first one meant for war.
exactly.
I mean, because I mean, I know Kirk technically the Constitution class was meant for battle.
Hmm.
Okay, great, but it's
Klingon
not meant
Civil
for
War and whatnot. So
yeah.
it's
But
yeah,
this was meant for war. Like this flat out bring it. Like this was meant for it because I mean, when you go back through like after Kirk's era, they had nothing but rosy, peachy keen and hunky dory peace.
yeah, and
And we
like
just
that's
we
that's
just
what I appreciate so much about Deep Space Nine. Like Cisco is like the
best.
anti card, and it
Yeah.
shows the ugly side of Starfleet, and like it's an exceptional series, highly underrated. So I
I think I have and I'm curious as your thoughts. I don't put Lower Decks in there simply because it's cartoon, but I would lump it in with these two if I were including like all series. So taking Lower Decks off the table because it's animated, I would say Strange New Worlds is probably up there neck and neck with DS9. The only reason I would say it's not quite up there is because it doesn't have as long. But I would say in terms of quality, Strange New Worlds gave us 10 perfect episodes, whereas DS9, of course, had some clunkers. But I would say those two are neck and neck. Lower Decks is probably, what it lacks for the quality side. It has so many Easter eggs and it's so clever. I would say those three are probably the trifecta of Trek. But
Mhm.
you're right, DS9 is very underrated. What are your thoughts in terms of what is great Trek?
It needs to be like, and people have been debating really why the controversies with New Trek, and it's not because New Trek's woke. Like Trek is woke in general. Like that's what Gene Roddenberry wanted. That's what he designed. I think Trek needs to remember the important things about the plot and remember the given circumstances for the characters and to remember to have fun with it too. Like I keep it light, like because
Yeah.
people are, if they're like hammered over the head with all this stuff, like they're gonna turn it off. But if it's a subtext thing, like a subtext message on top of a great story and complex characters with um, interesting personalities, then I think that's what makes good Trek. And I know new Trek is absolutely capable of that. It's just they they got to learn to have fun again instead of like if you focus on sending the message, you're not gonna. It's about telling a story. Everything needs to be in service of a story, not a message.
Yeah.
So that's really my 2 cents on it. But I Trek is Trek. I'm gonna be all over it regardless. Like the JJ stuff, the original stuff, new Trek. Like it,
Well, you go
I'm
back
all
to the original five series, what they consider classic Trek now. Um, the initial five series is there were television, I'm not a fan of Voyager. I think it was missed opportunity, and I've said that almost every time I talk about it. Um, but I love DS9. Enterprise was, had two good seasons, two seasons that were not so good. Um, TOS, not really a big fan of, but it was okay in some small doses. A few episodes had great ideas.
Mhm.
Um, Next Gen, yeah, you go back to that first season, my
That's
God, yeah,
oh
it had a couple diamonds,
Mhm.
But most of those, man, it's rough. It's rough. And I think people, they tend to look back at that era and go, no, this is perfect Trek. And it absolutely was not.
No, not at
Um,
all.
no. I think for me, Trek is, it's subtle in
Mhm.
terms of what message it wants to get across, but it leaves you to make your own conclusion. Like for me, it doesn't need to hammer home the message that it's trying to convey. It doesn't need to drop, hey, here's this pollution angle, or here's this, um, you know, sexuality uh, angle that we're trying to get across, or this person's bigoted, or this political agenda, or whatnot. Regardless of the spectrum. To me, it really just boils down to, if you go back to like that classic TOS episode where the half white, half black, half, um, and we could see the alien, and if you got it, hey, you're that much smarter for getting the subtlety. But if you didn't get it, well, then you were watching just aliens just talk about it, and you're like, yeah, of course. Why don't they understand this? And to me, it's not so in your face, and I don't know if it's woke or whatever. I'm always kind of bothered when the older trekkers are like, "Oh, that's woke trek," and I'm like, "What does that even? Just shut up."
Yeah, like
you know?
it's clearly like you didn't look that much um into classic Trek because it's very
Yeah,
much the same. It's just different in execution, I would say. Like I would say older Trek had um sort of redeeming qualities outside of the message. Like I new Trek, um it's very much the message and how it's told, as opposed to like because some of like say season 3 of Discovery, like I think season 3 of Discovery had uh some amazing episodes, but I can't really remember too much besides how well the message was executed. Like I think they're brilliant with their writing, but I can't remember this character doing this or various things like that. So it's like new track definitely needs to again service the plot more. Because like again, you look at season 4 of Discovery and it's like, what are you guys doing? Like,
it really was all over the place, and I think Discovery's problem. And again, anyone that says I'm ripping on New Trek, I'm not. I find,
I'm not either. Like again, like I said, Trek is Trek, but I feel
yeah,
like you know
I,
the
I
yeah.
I feel one of the things that Strange New Worlds did good, it serviced the characters, and it allowed the characters to be in the plot. It didn't have any type of, uh here's the agenda that we have, let's get this across. um it didn't have uh an overarching theme. Like, if you go back to Picard season 2, I was really disappointed with that, because I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? what
Mhm.
what are what are you trying to say? I didn't understand the motivations of the Borg Queen. I didn't understand the motivations of, the blonde Borg Queen. I didn't understand. Again, I don't even know most of the people's names, because I'm like,
That's the
what?
problem. That's the
Yeah,
problem right there. Like they they're just not memorable, and it's like I think that's really led to why something like Lower Decks is succeeding so well. It's because like it, it pokes fun at Trek.
yeah.
It's a fun Trek again.
Well, and you go to. I had said it because I was on NerdTube tonight, and I had, one of the things I brought up, because we were talking about the same exact thing of Trek, and I was like, if you go back to the VHS copy of Star Trek For the Voyage Home, they had a promo of Star Trek The Next Generation. And in that, it was only like maybe a minute scene or a minute, promo of Next Generation. And in it, they had, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, captain of the Enterprise. And then you had a shot of Commander Riker firing a phaser and it said, Commander William Riker, first officer. And then a scene of Data, I think he was in the holodeck. Lieutenant Commander Data, android officer. Then it had Geordi putting his visor on. Lieutenant Geordi LaForge, blind helmsman. Lieutenant Worf, Klingon officer. Like Lieutenant Yar, security. Like you knew who they were just by, and it was very exciting because for me, and especially me as a kid, I rewound that, played it, rewound it, played it, rewound it, and it was so exciting. But you knew their names, you knew what they did, and I still don't know most of the names of the Discovery people.
I know. It's like you look at like Tasha Yar was only in season 1, and they kept bringing her back because she was actually memorable, and the
yeah,
fans wanted Tasha back. Where you look at like what's the I don't even know the half the crew on Discovery. Like there's
like
Michael, there's Saru, there's
like the thing is like I don't like I when you talk about the helms like and I don't know, is it the helmsman or navigator, or is she in charge of weapons, like what is like
I don't know.
I know the
Problem.
lady with the
I,
lady with the eye thing or the black lady, and if I say that it's like, oh, that sounds racist. I'm not being like, but it's like
it's
I
just
don't know.
got nothing except like she had one episode dedicated to her, and that's when
Yeah.
she died. So
Wait, she died? Wait.
she did, or did she come back? I don't know.
Wait, she died?
I could have sworn she was this season. This was season 2, I think. Like or am I thinking of like a different black lady? There was a different black lady on the. See, this is the problem. This is the like I
I don't
cannot remember for the
I
life of
don't
me.
I don't think she died. I don't think she died. I know.
Am I not remembering? See, well, I can
Maybe
barely
you might
remember.
be remember. Maybe she died in the mirror universe.
Oh, I don't know. Like I don't know Discovery anymore. Like season 1, I was like, okay, I'm kind of into this, and then season 2, I was like, they're trying to do the Borg and it's not working, and then season 3, I was like, okay, like half of it's good, and then I don't know what happened with
Season
that. And,
season four. Like I was so excited about season four because I'm like, well, at least we know what division they're in now. Because
mhm.
man, it like those
Bronze, silver, and gold. Like, and we have low lights on the bridge, and the bridge is like trimmed with copper, and it's like I can't tell who's who on this. Like, and they're all like skin tight uniforms, and I'm like, God, like I'm
I don't
like.
know who's, yeah, you already don't know what station's what. You don't know their names. And then you're
Mhm.
like, what are you wearing? Like I don't know what division is this, bronze or copper? I don't know. At least when Pike came on, I'm like, all right, we might at least get these they never gave him those uniforms. So then we finally get to season 3. We're like, well, maybe they'll give them those gray things that look like motion picture uniform. Never gave them those. So at least we get to season 4 and we finally get these bright colored that look like TOS. You're like, yes. And they give us the worst storyline
I
that you're like,
know it's like, oh, Discovery.
and
Like,
and the
oh,
thing and the thing about it, they flew through the galactic barrier. That should have been cool as shit. But
uh-huh.
they had these bubble thingamabob, like what? Like it looked like Dawn dish soap. What is going on here? Like, oh,
It's like
and
in
then it took
Solo, the Star Wars story, where like they're hyping up the Kessel Run, and then you watch the Kessel Run, and it's like, wow, this is like the lamest thing ever. Like, holy cow, this is
and it
so.
reminded me when they finally talked to these alien things that they've been hyping up all season. It reminded me of, remember that 1999 movie of Spawn where he's
Yes,
talking about Malbolgia.
that's exactly what it was. Yeah,
that's that's what I mean. They're sitting there on the dock. They're like, think good thoughts, everybody. we gotta we gotta night bright these creatures and like what the fuck is what is this? And I'm just like, and again, everybody who thinks I hate it, I don't. I'm just saying, if you see a night bright in my film, I'm
Night Bright's canon now. It's like the
it's,
the
it's
chair that I got to move to my new apartment. Traveling chair.
it's why does Sanders have a night bright? Hey, I got a mission later. It's all good. It's all good. That's
Why
that's
does
what's
Sanders
coming.
have a night bright when he's photophobic?
That's why he's photophobic. It's the night bright. He was
Exactly,
contact.
exactly. And it's still, and regardless of what you think about the night bright, it still makes more sense than season 4 of Discovery.
It
So
was. I love it. I love it.
yeah,
But no, like that's the shit. Like I feel like the shit you and I are talking about right now is the shit that would be on like lower decks. Like they'd be like, the fucking night bright. What is like? Am I right? Am I right,
we need to get Sanders and Menard on lower decks
dude?
immediately. Like, start a petition
I would
for that. I would kill to be on lower. Like even just like have Mariner be like, oh yeah, that's Sanders. He won't let that chair go.
the guy with the old chair, the guy with the pizza rolls. Like, fuck yeah, dude. That's
Yeah,
that's that's that's
exactly.
it. Just a nod. Just a nod. That's it. Like
Yeah, a
CBS.
subtle little thing. Like I'm still waiting for like season 5 of Discovery to like pull some Sanders reference out of its ass. So
Dude,
um
they do all the time. That's
that
bless their heart. But so that being said, uh is there more Sanders coming up down the I mean, I know the uniform, like that being said, that's just simply something I want to do for you guys is my way of saying thank you. And I think the uniforms look nice.
mhm.
Is there any more Sanders down the pike, you think?
I I'm honestly conflicted because I definitely want more Sanders, but what I'm thinking is like I kind of want to take like a Bill Murray approach where he doesn't have an agent, and if he reads the script and likes it, he'll do it. I kind of want to do that with Sanders, where if fans want to do like a Sanders thing, have me do a cameo. If I like the script, I'll do it. Um, I know with I've I've kind of hit like a zen point with the two films that I wrote, Little Lies and Try Honesty, because I think for a little while I wanted to do like a third one to make it a trilogy, but I think they work really well as like a duality thing. As Yeah, so it's I I would definitely be open to more Sanders. Just I definitely want to focus on being me right now as well. So because I love Sanders, but when it comes to the character that I feel like I need to play right now, I think I need to learn the script for Sean Reimer.
Yeah.
So
Well, I gotta say, man, I completely feel you. I've turned down scripts because I think I might have told you last time you and I chatted. Like I turned one down because it had Menard beaming down to a planet where he shoots up a village, and I'm like, it it it, are you sure this isn't the Phantom? Like, why would Menard shoot up a planet? Like,
mhm.
the fuck are you talking about? Like what? Um, and so I've actually taken that approach and turned down a couple of projects. You know, I'm friends with the people. It's just not interested. Because after you tell a certain amount of stories, what's there left to do? Go do you. And that's there's no shame in that. Especially when you're happier doing what you want to do. Um, you know, uh, Today I played cops and robbers with Royce, and it's like, man, I could have been filming something, but playing with my kid, that was a lot more fun.
that's priceless. Like he,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
it's,
know, and I know it sounds I know it sounds a little eh, to those that understand, you'll understand. But I still listen to Cats in the Cradle, and I think about my dad and how we never were close. And when I listen to that song, I'm like, I don't want that for me and my kid. And there's no fan film in the world that can compare with my kid. So I completely get it, man. Like, if you need to go do you, like I say awesome because, dude, you're one of my better friends in fan films, and I adore you to death, man. And I'd much rather have you around a lot longer than you playing some character that, it's okay, So
it's this is really the greatest play I found, the most complex play. It's this play called Life,
yeah.
and I want to make sure that this play is a good one, and I want to be there with my scene partner through it, and um, but I I do believe on the flip side, Sanders will return.
Ooh.
Sanders will absolutely return. I don't know how yet, but I
Well,
definitely want to bring him back. So
and that's the thing also. Being choosy about the roles that you take, and I say this having triple digit films, you know, being choosy about the roles you take, it makes people want you more.
mhm.
Because again, going back to now, this is the third time we've said this: quality over quantity.
Exactly. That should be like the if there's one theme that we're not gonna hammer over your head like Discovery did, it it's quality over quantity. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So awesome. Well, that being said, I think we've hit our time limit.
I believe so
Sean,
too.
I want to say honestly, I'm glad to see you're in better spirits than you have been. And I really honestly, if there's ever anything I can do, whether it's conversation or venting or anything, man, I'm here for you. Both you guys. If there's ever anything, um, and I'd love to one of these nights chat with you again. We didn't even get to talk about our films that we have. Coming up here in a couple weeks, or what we've released recently. And that's the thing that I love talking about you, man. Is we don't even necessarily need to talk about what we've done recently. We can just bullshit for an hour, and it doesn't even seem like it.
I know, like it's nice. Like you, in the words of Spock, you have been and always shall be my friend. So
Oh man, I feel like putting my hand up to the glass. Like it's good, man. Like that's that's when doing this type of show, it doesn't feel like a show. Like when I can call up my friend and be like, hey man, I just want to fuck around with you for a little bit, let's talk. And that's friendship. And I dig it, man. Like I love talking to you, man. And I mean, to those that are to those that are listening, we do have some things coming that have been pre-recorded. And hopefully Sanders does come somewhere down the
he will.
speedway.
He will.
But I have to say, I passed the Constar A to Java. I passed Constar B to you. I'm so proud to have had you in my films, and to have gotten to work with you. I love you to death, man. I think you're fucking great. And you are like extended family to me. You have made this journey that I've taken a little better, and I'm a better person for having known you. So I want to say again, thank you for chatting with me today, and thank you for everything you've done. If I never get the chance to say it again, uh, thank you for everything that you are to me, brother. So
Thank you so much for letting me into this amazing world that I'm so lucky to be part of. And thank you so much for being there for me and for Lexa. I know we really appreciate it, and we love you to death, brother. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, with that being said, I will let you guys have a good night. And anything you need, you let me know. All right.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Take care, my friend. And with that being said, everybody that's watching the chat, like I always say, be genuine, be safe, and keep on geeking on, guys.